friends, today we are here to discuss on one of the science topic, light. But before moving on to the topic, let me introduce myself. I am Simpi and I basically belong to Jharkhand, but now I stay in Kochi, Kerala. I am a B.Ed graduate from science stream and I have worked in many ICSE and CBSE affiliated schools. But at present I am not working anywhere due to my some family problem. Now let's move on to the topic light. Today we will deal with three subtopics, that is first one introduction of light, second classification of objects, and the third one properties of light. So if I ask one question that how can we see the things around us? Our answer will be we can see the things around us with our naked eyes. But if we enter into a dark room, will we be able to see the things there? No. Why can't we see the things there? Because there is no light. So we can conclude that we can see the things around us just because of light. Now, what is light? Light is a form of energy that helps us to see the things around us. Now, classification of objects. We can classify objects on many bases. So, the first classification is that objects are classified as luminous and non-luminous objects. Now, what is luminous object? Luminous object is that object that have its own light. Sun have its own light, bulb have its own light, candle have its own light. So these are the example of luminous objects. Now what are non-luminous objects? Non-luminous objects are those that don't have their own light. But we can see the non-luminous object just because of the reflected light of the luminous object. Now, objects are also classified as transparent objects, opaque objects, and translucent objects. What are transparent objects? Transparent objects are those objects that allow light to pass through them. What are opaque objects? Opaque objects are those that do not allow light to pass through them. Translucent objects. What are translucent objects? Translucent objects are those objects that allow partial light to pass through them. Now, I will explain you the luminous and non-luminous objects with an example. If a person is standing here and any luminous object is placed here, the person can see that luminous object. But if a non-luminous object is placed here, how can the person see that non-luminous object? The person can see that non-luminous object because sunlight falls on these non-luminous objects and then it is reflected back to the person's eyes. So due to the process of reflection, the person can see that non-luminous object also. Now let's move on to the third subtopic, properties of light. The first property of light is a form of energy. As I discussed earlier, light is a form of energy. The second property is that light always travels in a straight line. Now with an example I will explain that. If we will place a candle here and we will see this candle through a straight hollow pipe, then we will be able to see this candle. If the pipe is bent, then we will not be able to see this candle. This concludes that light always travels in a straight line, and this is the second property of light. And the third property, light forms shadows. How shadows are formed? Shadows are formed when light is stopped by an object. So, opaque object does not allow the light to pass through them. That's why opaque object always form the dark shadows. And translucent objects partially allows the light to pass through them. That's why translucent objects always form weak shadow. That's all for today. We will discuss the next topic in the next class. Thank you.